So it's end of November and I'm out here in the garden and it's pretty much finished for the season. We attempted to extend the season a little bit in the greenhouse, but that failed, and as you can see, everything in here is dead now. But one of the things that's exciting about the garden is even when it's at its slowest time and it's in its dead time and you haven't planted for the winter, there's still stuff going on and there's still the excitement for what is going to be coming for next year. You know, this is the perfect time to be getting your seed catalog out and taking note of what did well last year and what didn't, and getting your plans together for 2018. So I thought I'd give you a quick tour through the garden, let you see just what a dead garden at my house looks like, and give you a feel for what end of November is like at my house. So I know I've said that I don't clean out my garden in the fall because I like to have the brown matter on the top of my garden just to give some sort of shelter for wildlife, but the greenhouse is one place where it would be a good idea to do some work. You can kind of see behind me, it's filled with dead stuff, and you know, it doesn't have the right airflow. I don't really have the bugs that are going to be coming in here, so I do need to clean this up. It's just hasn't been done yet. Nice thing is, because it is covered, you know, even when the snow comes, this is going to be completely open, so you know, there's no rush to really get it done. We are going to be doing starts in our greenhouse, and our design when we planned the greenhouse in the first place was that where these tomatoes are is a bed that can get covered up with a piece of plywood, like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and it can become kind of a raised table space where we can put out, you know, tables or sawhorses, which is boards to support trays of starts. So this is definitely going to have to get cleaned up because I'm going to need this ready for February, March, when weather starts to get a little bit better and I start thinking about getting my starts done. One thing that's definitely looking fuller than it normally would is my compost pile behind me. You know, as things kind of get a little bit cleaned up, and we're really bad at compost, so our slow compost pile takes a while. It doesn't cook down quite as quickly as it would if we actually were putting some effort into it and turning it. So, you know, it's gonna have enough space that we'll be able to throw all our compost out there throughout the winter, but come spring we definitely are gonna have to do a turn and a little bit of a clean on it and try to get it a little bit under control. One plant that we definitely always plant into the garden for the summer to go over the winter is our kale. This variety that we grow is winter boar kale, and you don't have to do anything to it and it'll survive in our climate. We're in a zone 6 here, so this thing, it can get snowed on and we can still come out on warm days and pick some leaves, and come spring it'll give a little bit of a burst of growth super early that we can eat, and then it'll start to go to seed, and then at that point it just gets thrown into the compost. But you know, it's nice to still come out here and see some green, and we've actually done a lot of work to fill a couple beds with it, so we have a pretty good crop. It'll keep us in salads and smoothie greens for the winter, no problem. Here's a crop I've been really surprised about. This is a daikon radish, and I'm really shocked it's still growing even after that snow that we got. And this is the first time that I've tried growing it, so I'm pretty impressed. I think I'm actually going to get a little bit of a crop on it. I'm going to give it another couple weeks until another run of bad weather comes and kind of completely finishes my season, but it's still doing something, which is pretty amazing. The one final thing I haven't pulled out of the garden is this turnip crop that I have going here, and there actually is some pretty good roots forming on here, which I'm excited about. I really like turnip greens, so on these, even if no root ever forms, I'm still going to be really happy to have these greens to braise up. And this is another crop that it's going to have to come out pretty soon. One last thing that I found in the garden when I was checking it out today that I'm really excited about is this is a winter boar or a Christmas rose, and it actually has buds already. One of the fun things about having perennials like this in the garden is they'll do stuff out of season that your normal annuals would do. So, you know, getting buds on this plant even in Canadian winters and having it there as soon as the snow kind of opens up and fluffs up, like come February, is pretty amazing, and always something that has me really excited for spring every year. So it's exciting to see that they're already working on that magic happening. It's always really interesting for me to see the way that seasons cycle in a garden. You know, at this time of year, everything's kind of slowed down, and it's gone from this crazy just rush of getting everything that is ready to harvest put up and put away so that you can have it over the winter. And then as the sun kind of disappears, as the winter days get shorter and shorter, there gets to be less and less that there is to do out here, and you know, the whole rhythm of the garden just kind of slows down and stops. Really is a great time, like I said, to just take stock of what's happened, you know, be thankful for the blessings that you've had in the past year, and to look forward to what it is that you want to do in 2018. I know that a garden like this can seem like a lot of work. It can seem like it would be something that gets to be overwhelming. But kind of one of the joys of nature is it kind of does its own thing, right? So other than needing to water it, obviously, if you don't do anything, it just lives, right? It takes on a life of its own outside of you, and that's really enjoyable to have in your life, you know, to welcome it into being something that you live along with. I know not everyone is gonna choose to go as crazy as Ian and I have gone in the yard and with the garden, but there really is a joy that comes from growing something, and especially when it's food, and it connects you so physically to the cycle of the seasons, and to, you know, thinking about where your food's coming from and how your food is grown. There's so much value to it. As our garden's wrapping up for the season here, I'm not mourning the loss of the 2017 garden. At this point, I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening next year. And I hope that as you guys watch this video and, you know, have joined us in our 2017 season, that you've been inspired to think of what you're going to be doing for your 2018 season. So I really hope that you guys are looking forward to planting something next year. You know, even if you've never done it before, something as simple as just getting a few pots and trying out a few simple plants like a kale or some basil, so something that's just going to bring some joy to your life, you know, in the 2018 season. I really hope that you guys will be trying it too. So if you're having plans for a 2018 garden, give me a thumbs up below. Let's see how many of us are going to be planting something, and let's all start getting excited for next year.